FDM 3D printing is a powerful tool for creating custom parts for hobby and DIY projects. With this guide, you'll learn how to create your own custom parts using FDM 3D printing technology. Step 1. Design your part. The first step to creating a custom part is to design it. You can use a variety of 3D modeling software such as TinkerCAD, Fusion 360, SketchUp, Blender and many more to create your design. These software allows you to create a 3D model of the object you want to print. Some software is more user-friendly, while others are more powerful but require a steeper learning curve. If you don't have experience with 3D modeling, you can also find ready-made models online on websites such as Thingiverse, GrabCAD, MyMiniFactory, and many more. Step 2. Prepare your model for printing. Once you have your design ready, you'll need to prepare it for printing. This process is called slicing and it's done using slicing software that will take the 3D model and slice it into layers that the printer can understand. The slicing software will also generate a G-code file that the printer will use to print the object. When preparing your model for printing, you'll need to consider factors such as the size of the object, the resolution of the printer, and the materials it is capable of using. You'll also need to choose the right slicing settings such as the layer height, infill, and support structures. Step 3. Print your part. Once your model is prepared, you can start the printing process. Make sure your 3D printer is properly calibrated and that your filament is loaded. It's important to have a clean and level print bed and to have the right temperature set for the filament you are using. The printing process can take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours, depending on the size and complexity of the model. The time it will take to print the object will depend on the size and complexity of the model, and the quality of the printer. Step 4. Post-processing. After the object has been printed, it will need to be cleaned up and finished. This may include removing support structures, sanding, or painting. The post-processing step is important to obtain a good finish on the object, to get rid of any imperfections, and to make it ready for use. Step 5. Use your part. Once your object has been cleaned up and finished, you can use it for your hobby or DIY project. With FDM 3D printing, you can create custom parts for a wide variety of projects, from model building and robotics, to home repairs and customization. In conclusion, FDM 3D printing is a powerful tool for creating custom parts for hobby and DIY projects. By following these steps, you'll be able to create your own custom parts using FDM 3D printing technology, and take your ideas from concept to reality. It's important to note that 3D printing is not always a perfect process and there may be imperfections in the final product. With practice and experience, you'll learn how to minimize these imperfections and create high-quality objects. Additionally, when creating custom parts for hobby and DIY projects, it's important to keep in mind the limitations of the 3D printing process. Some things to keep in mind include: tolerance. 3D printing has a certain level of tolerance, which means that the final printed object may not be exactly the same as the digital model. Keep this in mind when designing your parts, and make sure that any critical dimensions are within the tolerance range of your printer. Strength. While 3D printed parts can be strong, they may not be as strong as parts made with other manufacturing methods. Keep this in mind when designing parts that will be subject to stress or force, and consider using stronger materials or reinforcing the part with additional materials. Surface finish. Depending on the printer, the surface finish of the printed object may not be as smooth as you expect. Keep this in mind when designing parts that will be visible, and consider post-processing techniques such as sanding or painting to improve the surface finish. Material choices. Not all materials are suitable for all projects, and some materials may not be compatible with your printer. Make sure to choose the right material for your project and that the material is compatible with your printer. By keeping these limitations in mind, you'll be able to create high-quality custom parts that meet your needs and exceed your expectations. With FDM 3D printing, the possibilities are endless, and you can create custom parts for a wide variety of hobby and DIY projects. Overall, FDM 3D printing is a powerful tool for creating custom parts for hobby and DIY projects. By understanding the basics of FDM 3D printing, you'll be able to create your own custom parts and take your ideas from concept to reality. With practice and experience, you'll learn how to minimize imperfections, take advantage of advanced techniques, and create high-quality parts that can be used in a wide variety of projects. One more thing to keep in mind is the cost of 3D printing. While 3D printing can be a cost-effective way to create custom parts, it's important to consider the cost of the materials, electricity and the time it takes to print. Also, if you don't have your own 3D printer, you can also use 3D printing services, where you upload your design, they print it and ship it to you, but you have to pay for the service and the shipping. Another consideration is the environmental impact of 3D printing. Some filaments are not environmentally friendly, and the process of 3D printing can be energy intensive. It's important to consider the environmental impact of your projects and choose materials and methods that are as sustainable as possible. In conclusion, creating custom parts for hobby and DIY projects using FDM 3D printing can be a fun, cost-effective, and rewarding way to bring your ideas to life. By understanding the basics of FDM 3D printing, materials, equipment, and software, you'll be able to create your own custom parts and take your ideas from concept to reality. Keep in mind the limitations of the process, the cost and the environmental impact of your projects, and you'll be able to create high-quality, sustainable parts that can be used in a wide variety of projects.